what's up? Travel Chronicles. We're on like chapter 28-ish. A lot of stuff going on. A couple things with COVID. One, the rates are spiking. I haven't seen like the latest ones from the weekend, but before the weekend, before the 4th, they were around like 40-some thousand a day is what the U.S. was doing, mostly in Florida, California, and Texas. I think were the big ones. And kind of surprising. I think they thought once the heat hit, this was going to die down. And it seems like the hottest states are the ones where it's spreading the worst. It'll be interesting to see what happens after this July 4th, because I've seen some videos of some places where people were partying together, you know, throwing caution to the wind, no mask, no social distancing, just having a party. So it'll be interesting. The other thing is that even though the cases are spiking, the death rate has not been increasing. It's actually been decreasing. It's the lowest it's been, you know, essentially since it started going up in March. So we're talking early on the curve, you know, death rate. And that's death rate that they're attributing to COVID. You know, that's pretty much, if anybody dies right now, it's COVID related. I think that's the way the hospitals are. I don't even know if they're giving them. I don't even know if you can give a test after somebody passes away to see if that's what it was. Excuse me. So that's out there. The other thing that's out there is all the social, you know, maniacal stuff that's going on, and it's so off track now that the Cleveland Indians, I don't know if you noticed or not, I'm a fan of the Indians. They have decided that they may want to change their name, right? So the Redskins got a lot of flack because, well, that's a derogatory name to call someone a Redskin. Maybe it is. I'm not running around calling people that, so I don't know. You know, people want to have these mascots after, you know, humans, indigenous people, you know, whatever. You know, you got the Fighting Irish. Yeah, I don't care. But we can't have one named after, you know, a Native American group or an Indian group. So, whatever. You got the Celtics, right? So, like Irish, they don't care. But like the Native American, like, because there is some, I don't want to say like stigma. There's, you know, they have, you know, that reputation from early on of being a respectable, you know, fighting group. You know, they fought. They just didn't have the weapons. That's all. They may have beaten the European settlers. Wouldn't that have been something? Pilgrims wash up on the beach and there's some Indians with guns and rifles, and they just mow them down as soon as they step off the boat. That'd have been a sight. That's not what happened at all. And Whitey took over and made some sports franchises and named one of them after the Indians. So, and the whole story of the Indians, right? Like I don't know what their like original name was, but they had, like, the story goes, they had some tall players, long arms, and they thought they looked kind of like spiders out there. So then they became the Spiders. And I believe for one of those Spiders teams, there was a Native American that played, who the team would later be named for. I can't remember his name. I want to say it was like Louis Sacalarius, something like that. But then they had Nap LaJoy played for him. Not sure what his ethnicity was, and it doesn't matter. themselves the Naps. I believe they were the Cleveland Naps for that period of time that he was there playing and coaching for them. And then when he retired, then they're like, oh, well, we can't really be called the Naps because he ain't here anymore. So, hey, how about we name the team after that one guy that used to play for the Spiders who was an Indian? And it's like, oh, you mean so it would be the Indians? Like, yeah, like makes total sense. So that's what they did. But now the uproar is, and the big thing with the Washington Redskins is all the sponsors want them to change their name. So the team was like, no, we're the Redskins. We're going to be the Redskins forever. But FedEx, some of the other sponsors are like, hey, you should change that name or we're not going to give you money. So now the team's like, hey, we want to change our name. Surprise. That's all it takes. And it's not like, oh, we're going to boycott your stuff. We're not going to buy your stuff. That doesn't matter at all. But if somebody's sponsoring something, that matters. Because if people start boycotting the sponsors, then the sponsors are completely optional. They don't have to do this at all. So if they don't want to be a part of it, they just say, hey, we're pulling the money. And the team's like, whoa. We like that money. We'll change our name. We'll be somebody else as long as you'll continue to sponsor us. Because that's where a lot of the money comes from, right? It's like, oh, look at the jersey sales and tickets, and it's like, no, the corporate sponsors, the people that are advertising on these teams, that's where the real money is. Don't be fooled. The NBA is going to play a game without fans, without ticket sales. You want to buy the jerseys, cool, but they're still able to do this because money from TV and corporate sponsors. So them teams are getting their money. They're not going to be starving to death come October. So that's what that was. It was like, how much is this worth? How much do we need to spend to pull this off? That's what that came down. That was a money decision. That wasn't doing something for the goodness of sports. But back to the Indians. So they want to change the name. I'm actually cool with that because I've seen some logos. Here's what they've done. The last 10 to 15 years, well, probably like 5 to 10 years really, is the main logo for the Indians was Chief Wahoo, which, okay, you're a fan, you're a Wahoo. That was the thing, right? But it's a caricature of an Indian, so everybody's offended or whatever. And the Indians organization has tried to remove the image as much as possible from everything that they have. So if you want to get a hat, it's hard to find a hat with the Indian logo on it. All they have now is the block C. Now we're the block C's. And I appreciate, it's baseball. Yeah, sure. Different cities put the letter on. Pittsburgh has the hat with the P. Cincinnati's got a C. Chicago's got a C. Cleveland is also a C. You run out of ways to make a C. So Cleveland has the block C. And it's all right. I mean, it's not great. It's not like, oh my goodness, I gotta go get me a block C hat because it's so cool. No, it's like, oh look, I like the Indians. I have 2 block C hats. Okay, this one, which I got for like $10 at Boscov's. So I got it because it's cheap, and it's like, all right, that's kind of cool. It's actually gray and red, so it sort of looks like Ohio State, but it's like, because I live in an area where everybody roots for Ohio State, I don't particularly care for Ohio State. But it's like, oh, look, you have an Ohio State hat on. It's like, not really. But the other hat that I have is one that I got for Father's Day. Best Father's Day gift ever. Best Father's Day ever. Because that was the day Cleveland Indians won the championship, and I got a fitted camo Indians hat that has the block C on, but it's in camo, so it's not really, hey, look at the block C. I got it because of the camo, so it's cool looking. I like that hat. So I got one that I liked because of the camo on the hat, and one that I got because it was cheap, not because I'm out there buying the red block C. But I've seen some designs for the Spiders logo where it's got like the spider coming off of the C. It looks pretty cool. And if we're not going to have a mascot or a logo, and all we're going to have is a block C on a hat, let's at least have a cool looking one. So that's why I'm completely fine with making the name change, because they've already eliminated the mascot from the team. It's like you're basically just rooting for the Script Indians logo on a jersey. That's it. Like, they're not incorporating the Chief Wahoo anymore. They're not developing that anymore. They're not advancing that anymore. So yeah, let's just be done and let's go to something else, and something that we can actually have like on a hat, that looks cool. That's all I'm saying. We're getting close now. We're back Monday morning. It's gonna be fun. No boss, no production manager, quality manager, no maintenance, no health and safety. Looking enjoyable. Oh, and over the weekend, they put the wrong stuff in the wrong tank. So they may have ruined 20 metric tons of material. And what else? Oh, somebody at the plant, not my plant, but the plant that we're in. We're inside of another plant. One of those people actually tested positive for COVID. So sweet. Should be a fun week. All right, be careful. Stay COVID free. Later.